And some could say it's still an enigma wrapped in a riddle. Will there be a deal? Well, we'll speak to a man who sometimes has all the answers.
I think it's a fool's errand to try and judge the mood.
That's an easy one. I don't know.
I have absolutely no idea.
He's just being modest. The EU is now saying there is a path to a deal. Rob will help us understand what that path might be. Well, to those of you watching on BBC World News and those of you watching on PBS in America, welcome to today's Outside Source. And we're going to start in Europe because governments across the continent are having to make incredibly difficult decisions about what to do about this first Christmas since the pandemic began. In the UK, Boris Johnson is now calling for a smaller Christmas, but he hasn't actually changed the plans to ease restrictions for 5 days across the festive period. 3 households will still be able to see each other and still be able to stay overnight. Some medical experts have been warning this week that will cost lives. But here's the Prime Minister earlier.
We've decided that the overall situation is, alas, worse, more challenging than we'd hoped when we first set the rules. So while it would not be right, we think, to criminalise people who have made plans and simply want to spend time with their loved ones, we're collectively, across the UK, governments at every level, asking you to think hard and in detail about the days ahead and whether you can do more to protect yourself and others.
And this is the BBC's Jonathan Blake in Westminster.
Across the UK, the opportunity will exist for people over a 5-day period at Christmas to meet in greater numbers than they normally would be able to do under the rules in place at the moment in various parts of the UK. That doesn't mean that people should automatically do that. In fact, in a joint statement published tonight by the UK government as well as the Scottish and Welsh governments, people are being urged only to form what's being described as a Christmas bubble with up to 3 other households unless they believe they absolutely have to. And in Wales, the government has gone further, changing the law to make it now only possible for up to 2 households to meet indoors over that 5-day period. So while broadly speaking the rules are staying the same, the guidance has shifted significantly, urging people to have what you heard the Prime Minister describe there as a smaller, shorter and safer Christmas.
Meanwhile, elsewhere in Europe, coronavirus restrictions are being tightened as the run-up to Christmas plays out. Let's begin in Germany. It's registered more than 950 COVID-19 related deaths in the last 24 hours. To put that in context, it's the highest daily figure since the pandemic began in Germany. In response, it's brought in its strictest measures yet, and that includes schools and non-essential businesses closing until January the 10th. Jenny Hill is in Berlin.
There's little festive cheer as Germany prepares for a Christmas in lockdown. As shops, schools and hairdressers closed this morning, another miserable milestone. More than 950 deaths recorded in a day. Even taking into account statistical fluctuations, it's the worst death toll here since the pandemic began. Germany closed its bars, restaurants, arts and leisure facilities 6 weeks ago, but that did little to stop. His health system may be robust, but it's under real pressure. Some hospitals have had to turn patients away.
If you ask me, it's absolutely the right time to lock down. Hospitals here are at breaking point.
Unsure, though some blame regional politicians who resisted Angela Merkel's call.